wasn't going to talk about this. I tried not to. For a while, I convinced myself it was just stress. Breakup stuff, your brain playing tricks on you. But it's not just that. And I think if I don't say it out loud, I'm going to keep pretending it didn't happen. So I'm recording this. Not because I'm dramatic. Not because I want attention. Just in case. In case something happens. In case I wake up one morning and can't explain it again. It sounds stupid when I say it like that. It really does. But there's one thing I should have done the day we broke up. One small thing. And I keep thinking, if I had just done that, maybe none of this would have started. I should have asked for the key back. I didn't think it was a big deal at the time. And, that's the part that bothers me the most. Not the breakup, not the fights, not even the way she looked at me when I told her it was over. It was the key, the stupid spare key. And I should have asked for it back. Yeah, I should have asked for it back. When she moved out, she was standing there, coat on, bag in hand, and she said, "I'll bring it back later." And I just nodded, like it didn't matter, like we were still going to talk, like we were still normal. We weren't. Her name's Alina, and she wasn't a bad person, not exactly, just intense. She liked knowing where I was, who I was with, when I'd be home. At first, I guess, it felt like she cared, but then it just felt like monitoring. There's a difference, and you don't really notice it until it's too late. She had this habit of rearranging things in my apartment. Small stuff. My desk, my kitchen shelves, my closet. She said she liked fixing spaces. I told her I liked them how they were. She'd smile and say, "You'll get used to it." And I did. Probably the problem. Yeah, I got used to it. The breakup wasn't explosive. No screaming, no thrown plates. It was quiet, which somehow made it worse. She sat on the edge of the couch and said, "You're making a mistake." Not angry, just certain. Certain, like she already knew how this would end. After she left, the apartment felt bigger, too quiet, like the air had been vacuumed out. For the first few days, I kept expecting her to text, or knock, or just walk in. And the thing is, she could have. She still had the key. The first time something felt off was 3 days later. I came home from work like 6-ish, dropped my bag, walked into the kitchen, and my coffee mug was on the counter. I always leave it in the sink, always. It's a stupid habit, but mine. I froze, tried to replay the morning in my head. Maybe I rinsed it, maybe I've moved it without thinking. Yeah, that happens, right? You do something automatically and forget. So I let it go. That night I woke up around 2:30. No reason, just awake. The apartment, it felt different. You ever wake up and feel like someone's been in the room? Nothing moved, nothing visible, just a shift in atmosphere. I lay there, listening. Fridge humming, pipes ticking, normal sounds. But my chest felt tight, like I'd missed something. I got up, checked the front door, locked, chain on, deadbolt secure. I told myself I was being dramatic. Breakups mess with your head. You start projecting.
missing the noise of another person, even if you don't miss the person. The second thing happened the next evening. I keep my bedroom closet door closed, always. When I walked in, it was cracked, not wide, just enough to notice. I froze. I stepped closer, pushed it open. Nothing inside. Clothes, shoes, same mess I leave. But my heart was racing, for no reason. I checked the door again, still locked, still chained. I even opened it and stepped into the hallway. Empty, silent. I texted her. I don't even know why. I just wrote, "Did you come by?" She replied almost immediately, "No." Then, "Why?" I stared at that message for, I don't know, a long time. There was something about how fast she answered, like she'd been waiting. I typed, "Nothing, just asking." She didn't respond after that. That night, I dreamed she was standing in the hallway, inside the apartment, not knocking, not speaking, just standing there, watching me sleep. When I woke up, my bedroom door was open. I always close it. I'm sure of that. I stood in the doorway for a full minute, trying to remember if I'd left it open, trying to convince myself I had. I must have, right? The third thing was small, so small I almost didn't mention it to anyone. The bathroom mirror. When I shower, it fogs up completely, every time. But that night, there was a clear handprint in the center. Not dramatic, not dripping, just wiped, like someone had placed their palm there. I stood there, staring. My first thought wasn't ghost. It wasn't intruder. It was, she did that. She always did that. She hated the fog. My stomach turned. I told myself I must have done it, without realizing. Maybe I wiped it. Maybe I leaned forward. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. There are so many maybes when you want to avoid the obvious.
I didn't sleep much that night. Every little sound felt intentional. Building creaks, pipes, someone upstairs dropping something. But it all felt closer, like it was inside my walls. Around 3:12 a.m., I swear I heard the softest click, like metal touching metal, like a key turning. I sat up, heart pounding, listening. Nothing followed. No footsteps, no door opening, just silence. Thick silence. I didn't move for a long time. Eventually, I got up, walked to the front door, locked, chain still on, deadbolt still turned, but I stood there, staring at the handle, because I couldn't shake the feeling someone had tested it from the outside or the inside. I don't know which is worse. The next morning, I checked the spare key hook by the door. Empty. Of course. She still had it. And for the first time, I realized it wasn't that she might come back. It was that she could, anytime, without warning, without permission, without me knowing. And that thought didn't feel hypothetical anymore. I thought maybe I was just being paranoid. I mean, who wouldn't, right? Breakups mess with your head. You get jumpy. You imagine things. Small noises feel huge. But then, something happened. The neighbor. Yeah, she lives across the hall. Old lady, sweet, keeps to herself, always waves in the morning. She knocked on my door around, I don't know, 10 p.m. And she said, "Hey, I saw someone near your door earlier. Looked, I don't know, like they were fiddling with it." I laughed, nervously. I said, "What do you mean? Like an intruder?" She shrugged. "I don't know. I didn't see a face, just someone. It was weird." I thanked her. I thanked her and closed the door. And then I stood there, just frozen. Because, I checked. The door was locked, chain on, deadbolt turned. I even pressed my hand against it, solid. And yet, that feeling, that gut-tight, spine-chill feeling, didn't go away. The next day, I decided to check the security camera. Yeah, the one above the door. I thought I'd get some peace of mind. I watched the footage from last night, and, well, it was weird. The video, it kept glitching. Not normal glitches, not like streaming lag, like frames skipping, shapes bending, shadows stretching, unnaturally. I rewound it, watched it again. At exactly 3:12 a.m., I saw a shape standing outside my door, motionless, just there. I froze. I swear I could feel my stomach drop. And then the video, it skipped again. By the time it caught back up, the shape was gone. And there was no sound. Not a beep, not a footstep, nothing. I don't know if I was breathing. Later that evening, I got home from work, tired. I set my bag down, walked to the kitchen, and the mug was on the counter again. Not in the sink, not in the place I always leave it. I swear I didn't do it. I told myself maybe I was losing my mind. Maybe I sleepwalk. Maybe I just, I don't know, lean on things in my sleep. But it didn't feel like that. No, it felt intentional. That night, I stayed up. I stayed up all night, actually. I checked every corner of the apartment. Closets, windows, bathroom, everything locked, everything secure. But I kept hearing little things. Clicks, scratches, soft thuds. I'd get up, walk around. Nothing. But the sounds, they never came from the same place twice. And then I started seeing things. Small, almost nothing. A shadow flickering in the corner of my eye. A reflection that didn't belong in the mirror. I told myself, it's stress. It's stress, right? But then, around 3:12 a.m., I saw it. A movement in the hallway. It was subtle, too fast to describe. I blinked and it was gone. I swear I didn't blink at the right moment. The next morning, I found something. A photo on my desk. I always leave it facing up. It was face down. I don't remember touching it. I don't remember anyone else being here. I touched it carefully, flipped it back up. The picture of me and Alina, smiling, happy. And my stomach, I don't know, dropped again. Because I knew this wasn't an accident. I started keeping notes. Times things moved, doors open, mirrors wiped, mug misplaced.
patterns started to emerge. Always late at night, always small, subtle, not threatening, not yet, but intentional. And that's when it really hit me. I didn't just feel watched. I felt studied, like she was still here. Not physically, not entirely, but her presence lingered. And that's when I started questioning myself. Am I, imagining it? Is this sleep deprivation? Stress? Breakup trauma? Or is it real? I can't tell anymore. I didn't tell anyone about the camera footage. I thought about it, I really did. But what would I even say? Hey, there's a shadow outside my door at 3:12 every night, and it glitches when I try to look at it. Yeah, no. So I kept it to myself. And that's when it started getting heavier. Not louder, not more dramatic, just closer. I stopped sleeping properly. I'd lie there, staring at the ceiling, counting the seconds between the refrigerator hum and the pipes knocking in the walls. It's weird, the things you start memorizing when you're afraid. You map the sounds, you catalog them, so when something new appears, you know. And something new did. A soft shuffle. Not outside, inside, like a sock dragging lightly across the floor. The first time I heard it, I didn't move. I just listened. My heart was pounding so loud I thought it might actually drown it out. And then it stopped, just like that. The next morning, I checked the floor. Nothing. No marks, no signs of anything. But the rug in the hallway, the one that never moves, was slightly folded at the edge. Just barely. Like someone had stepped on it, or dragged something across it. I stood there for a long time, trying to remember if I'd done that. Trying to convince myself I had. Because the alternative? I didn't want to think about that. I texted Alina again. I told myself I wasn't going to, but I did. I wrote, "Be honest, did you come by?" She didn't respond right away this time. It took almost an hour, which felt worse. Then finally, why would I? No emoji, no emotion, just that. I stared at the typing bubble. It never came back. That night, I did something stupid. I unlocked the door. I don't even know why. Maybe I wanted to prove something to myself. Maybe I thought, if someone is coming in, let them. Let's just get it over with. So I unlocked it, left the chain off, sat in the living room with the lights off, waiting. I told myself I was being brave, but I wasn't. I was shaking. Around 3:12? Yeah, I know. I noticed the time now. Around 3:12, I heard it again. That soft, metal click, like a key brushing against the lock. But the door was already unlocked, so why would there be a key? I stood up slowly, walked toward it. Every step felt loud. When I reached the door, it was closed, still, quiet. I put my hand on the handle, and I swear it felt warm, like someone had just been holding it. I opened the door fast. Hallway empty. Lights buzzing faintly overhead. No footsteps. No retreating figure. Nothing. I stepped out, looked both ways.
My neighbor's door was closed. Everything normal. Too normal. When I came back inside, the apartment felt wrong. That's the only word for it. Wrong. Like the proportions had shifted slightly. Like the space was breathing differently. And then I noticed it. The photo. The one of me and Alina. It wasn't face down this time. It was turned slightly. Just enough so that her face was fully visible. Mine was partially hidden by the frame. I didn't touch it. I didn't go near it. I just stood there, and this thought crept in. What if she's not coming in? What if she never stopped being here? That was the first time it felt almost supernatural. Not in a horror movie way. No slamming doors, no screaming. Just presence. Like when someone stands too close behind you and you can feel their body heat without seeing them. I started talking out loud. Just small things. Okay, it's nothing. You're tired. Go to sleep. But my voice sounded strange in the apartment. Too small, like it didn't belong. And then, the camera notification went off. Motion detected. 3:12 a.m. I didn't want to look. I really didn't. But I did. The footage showed the hallway. Empty at first. Then the image distorted slightly. A flicker. A blur. And for one frame, just one, it looked like someone standing directly in front of my door. Head slightly tilted. Not knocking. Not moving, just there. Then the footage skipped. When it resumed, the hallway was empty again. No one walking away, no sound, nothing. I sat there until morning. Didn't move, didn't sleep. Just replayed that frame in my head over and over, because I couldn't tell if it looked like her or if I just wanted it to. And that's the worst part. I don't know anymore. If this is her, if it's someone else, or if it's just me. But whatever it is, it knows when I'm watching, and it waits until I'm not. After that night, I stopped pretending it was random. I started testing things. Small things. I moved the rug in the hallway slightly to the left before going to bed. Not enough to be obvious. Just enough that I'd know. I closed every cabinet door tightly. I positioned the photo frame exactly straight. I even placed the mug dead center on the counter, measured it with my hand. Yeah, I know how that sounds. But I needed proof. Either I was losing my mind, or something was moving inside my apartment, and I needed to know which one. I barely slept. When I did, it wasn't deep. It was that half-awake kind of sleep where every tiny sound feels amplified. Around, I don't even need to say the time anymore. You know the time. I heard the shuffle again. Closer this time. Not from the hallway. From the living room. I didn't move, didn't breathe. My eyes were open, staring into the dark. And then, very softly, a creak, like someone putting weight on the floorboards. Slowly, carefully. I told myself, old buildings creak, wood expands. It's normal, it's normal. It's normal, but the creak moved. It wasn't one sound. It was steps. Not heavy, not rushed, measured. I forced myself to sit up. The apartment was dark except for the faint streetlight coming through the blinds, and I saw it.
The rug. It was straight again, exactly centered. Not how I left it. Centered, like someone had adjusted it, neatly. My mouth went dry. I didn't want to look at the kitchen, but I did. The mug was gone. I stood up too fast and almost tripped over my own feet. I checked the sink. Nothing. Checked the cabinets. Nothing. Then I noticed the bathroom light was on. I know I turned it off. I always turn it off. I walked slowly toward it. My heart felt wrong, like it was beating out of rhythm. And when I reached the doorway, the mug was sitting on the bathroom counter, right in front of the mirror. The mirror was fogged, just slightly, like someone had just taken a hot shower. I hadn't. The air felt warm, humid. My skin prickled. I stepped closer to the mirror, and there it was again. A clear space wiped in the fog. A handprint. But this time, it wasn't a full hand. It was just fingertips, dragging downward. I stumbled back. I don't even remember leaving the bathroom. I just remember sitting on the couch with the lights on. All of them. Kitchen, hallway, bedroom, all of them. Like light could fix this. Like brightness could make it logical. I grabbed my phone, opened the camera feed, scrolled back. The footage from that night was corrupted. Not glitched. Gone. Just a blank gap between 3:07 and 3:28 a.m. No data, no recording, nothing. That's when I started thinking something I hadn't wanted to think before. What if she still has the key because I never took it back? What if this isn't random? What if she's trying to show me something? Trying to make me notice? Trying to make me remember? I called her. I don't know why. It was almost 4 a.m. She answered on the third ring. Her voice was calm. Too calm. "Why are you calling?" she asked. I swallowed. "Did you come here?" Silence. Then a soft sigh. "You're doing this again," she said. Again. That word hit me. "What do you mean, again?" I asked. "You always forget," she said quietly. Forget what? But before I could ask, she hung up. I sat there, staring at my phone. Again? What does that mean? When have I done this before? I checked the call history. Normal. No missing days, no weird gaps. Everything looked fine. But suddenly, I wasn't sure, because I couldn't clearly remember the last few nights. I remember staying up. I remember watching. But after 3:12, it gets blurry, like static in my head, like something cuts out. The next evening, I found something that made my stomach drop. My spare key hook by the door. It wasn't empty anymore. There was a key hanging there. My key. The exact same one I gave Alina months ago. I know it was the same. There's a tiny scratch near the top. I put it there accidentally when I dropped it once. I remember that. I'm sure I remember that. I stared at it for a long time, trying to recall, did she give it back? Did I forget? Did I pick it up somewhere? No, I would remember that. Wouldn't I? My hand was shaking when I touched it. It felt normal. Cold metal. Real. which somehow made it worse. And then, very slowly, the realization started forming. Not fully, just the edge of it. What if the door isn't being unlocked from the outside? What if it's being unlocked from inside? And what if I'm the one doing it? I don't want that to be true. I really don't. But the more I think about it, the more the gaps in my memory feel deliberate, like something switches off at 3:12, like someone takes over, or maybe I just get up quietly, unlock the door, move things around, wipe mirrors, center rugs, place mugs in bathrooms, and then go back to bed and forget. But that doesn't explain the camera. It doesn't explain the shadow. It doesn't explain the neighbors saying she saw someone leave. Unless she saw me. I haven't slept properly in 3 days. I'm afraid to, because I don't know who I am after 3:12, and I don't know if I want to find out.
I didn't sleep the next night. I told myself I wouldn't. Made coffee around midnight, sat on the edge of the bed, lights off, phone in my hand, recording. I kept checking the time. 1:47, 2:26, 2:58. My heart was already beating too fast, and the stupid part is, nothing had even happened yet. I kept thinking maybe it wouldn't this time. Maybe I'd broken whatever pattern this was just by being aware of it. 3:11. I remember staring at the clock, just staring, like if I looked at it long enough it wouldn't change. And then it did. 3:12. Nothing. For a second, I actually laughed. Like, see, you're fine. You're just tired. You worked yourself up for nothing. And then I felt it. Not a sound, not a movement, just that shift. Like the air in the room got heavier. My body felt wrong, like it wasn't waiting for my permission anymore. I told myself, don't move. Out loud, I said it, don't move. And then I stood up. I didn't decide to. I didn't think about it. I just stood. Slow, calm, controlled, like I'd done it 100 times before. My phone was still in my hand, still recording. I remember thinking, this is good, this is proof, this means I'll remember. But I already felt distant, like I was slightly behind my own eyes, watching. I walked out of the bedroom. The hallway felt longer than usual. The apartment was quiet, too quiet, and I could hear my breathing, steady, not panicked. That's what scared me. I wasn't scared, I should have been. I reached the front door, my hand lifted, and I swear to you, it didn't feel unfamiliar. It felt practiced, like muscle memory. The chain slid off, soft metal sound. The deadbolt turned, and when I opened the door, the hallway light was on. It's never on that late. Never. I stood there, just looking, waiting for something to jump out, for someone to be standing there, for Alina to be there. But it was empty, completely empty. And that's when I noticed something that made my stomach drop. The air outside felt warmer, not colder, warmer, like someone had just walked past me, close. I stepped forward, one step into the hallway, and for a second, I thought I saw movement at the end of it. Not a person, not clearly, just a darker shape against the dark.
still, watching. I tried to step back into my apartment, and I couldn't. My body didn't respond. I wasn't frozen. I just didn't want to. That's the part I don't know how to explain. It didn't feel forced. It felt like agreement, like I had been resisting something for weeks, and suddenly I was tired of resisting. I heard my own voice whisper, "Okay." I don't remember deciding to say it, but I heard it. Clear, calm, "Okay." The last thing I remember clearly is turning my head slightly, and in the reflection of the dark window at the end of the hall, I wasn't alone. There was something standing just behind me, too close, taller, still. And it wasn't copying me. It was waiting.
The recording cuts off a few seconds later. I don't know why. Battery, maybe? Or maybe I dropped it. When I woke up the next morning, I was in my bed. Front door locked, chain on, deadbolt turned, like nothing happened. My phone was on the nightstand, still recording. The timestamp read 3:12 a.m. and then static. Just static. I played it back 3 times. There's no hallway, no footsteps, no door opening, just me breathing. And then another breath, slightly deeper than mine, right behind it. I checked the spare key hook again. Still empty. But the front door was unlocked. Not wide open, just not locked. And I don't remember locking it. I don't remember going back to bed. I don't remember agreeing. But I don't feel alone anymore. That's the truth. I don't feel watched. I don't feel threatened. If anything, I feel accompanied. And that scares me more than anything else ever has. It's 3:07 right now. I can feel it getting closer. I don't think I'm going to fight it tonight. I think I'm tired of pretending it's not there. Maybe this is what she meant when she said I was making a mistake. Maybe the mistake wasn't ending it. Maybe it was thinking I was ever the only one in here. If this recording stops at 3:12 again, then I guess that answers it. And if I don't sound afraid, it's not because I'm brave. It's because I don't think it wants me to be. It's 3:11. I can hear the handle.